welcome to NFL Free Agency Day 2. So hopefully this is a bit shorter than the last video. Last video, unfortunately, it's still, as of recorded, it's still uploading. So once it gets uploaded for day 1, hopefully you'll get your minds fresh from day 1 to this video. We begin day 2 with some signings, and listen, there's not a lot of signings, but I'll go with one of them. The Panthers are signing Luke Fortner from the Jaguars to a 1-year, $4.75 million deal. So he'll be replacing Cade Mays, who left to Detroit, who signed a pretty good deal, by the way, 3-year deal. They also released A'Shawn Robinson, so he's now a free agent. Bears are signing former Lions wide receiver and punt returner Khalif Raymond to a 1-year, $5.1 million deal. So he reunites with Ben Johnson, who's been his wide receiver there in Detroit. The big business came with Cleveland. Cleveland has been busy, by the way. They did sign former Packers center Elgton Jenkins to a 2-year, $24 million deal, $20 million guarantee. So they're fixing up this offensive line. We know they have Tyus Howard at right tackle. We know Zion Johnson is their new guard. We'll see if he is plugged in at left guard, I believe. Now they get Elgton Jenkins, and he is going to fit in that center position. So now it's all left to the left tackle and right guard. So great pickup for the Cleveland Browns. They also picked up former Jets linebacker Quincy Williams to a 2-year, $13 million deal, $9 million guarantee. So he will be joining reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year Carson Schwechner and that Browns linebacker group, which that should be a good duo. Then Dallas, the Cowboys were making some moves. They got former Chargers defensive tackle Otui Oganoa to a 1-year, $3 million deal. They also signed former Broncos safety P.J. Locke to a 1-year, $5 million deal. And so they're addressing a lot of defensive needs more than what they're dealing with their offense. The Lions, yeah, they brought back Teddy Bridgewater, but this is one I was a bit of a surprise. Isaiah Pacheco, the former Chief running back, going to Detroit for a 1-year deal. Now, I thought it could be a 2-3-year deal maybe, but him and Jahmyr Gibbs, that's going to be a good duo. They both have the speed, and I do think Detroit wants to run the football, not just the physical of Isaiah Pacheco, but his speed mixed up with Jahmyr Gibbs on the backfield. Yeah, I think this Lions team will be really good in the run game. Green Bay Packers, they released Nate Hobbs, so he's gone off to free agency. But they signed former Chargers cornerback Benjamin St. Juste to a 2-year, $10 million deal. That's their first signing in the free agent Grizzly Day. Texans were also being busy. They signed former Colts tackle Brandon Smith to a 2-year, $20 million deal, $13.5 million guarantee. So probably he's going to place him at right tackle. We'll see if Trent Brown is going to return to left tackle, which I do believe they'll put him at left tackle. Kyle Fairbanks gets a 2-year, $13 million deal or extension. He is now the highest paid kicker in NFL history. They acquire Saints punter Kai Carub in exchange for a 2028 6th-round pick. Chargers, I mentioned with Cole Strange, who signed a 2-year, $13 million deal, $9 million guaranteed. They also signed cornerback Dean Leonard to a 1-year, $2 million deal. Dolphins bringing in Zane Gonzalez to a 1-year deal. The former Falcon, who was a kicker there, now off to South Beach in Miami. New England was if we were to talk about the winners of day 2, Cleveland and New England are one of those two. Because New England They got their receiver, Romeo Doubs, former Packers wide receiver, who gets a 4-year, excuse me, up, 4-year, $70 million deal, which is a big one. And they added Elijah Vera Tucker to a 3-year, $42 million deal, $21 million guaranteed. The Romeo Doubs one is an interesting one. Now, everyone would probably say maybe Miami should have signed him. Maybe it could be a team like the Packers bring him back. Maybe like a Tennessee Titans, the Giants. But the team that got him was the Patriots. Remember, they released Stephon Diggs, and they need to replace him, and it goes with Romeo Doubs. And he's a deep threat wide receiver, so they are going to take a lot of shots at him and Keyshawn Boutte. As for the offensive line, Elijah Vera Tucker is going to fit in the left guard because Damian Wilson, who played left guard as a rookie, he's going to slide in at center to replace Garrett Bradbury, who left to the Bears. Saints are bringing back former Falcons linebacker Caden Ellis to a 3-year, $33 million deal, $23 million guaranteed. Now, this is a reunion because he is back in New Orleans, where, remember, when he was in New Orleans, he had some ups and downs there in New Orleans. But since his time in Atlanta, things are going very well for him. So we'll see if he can bring that production from Atlanta to New Orleans. New York Giants. The Giants signed Greg Newsome II to a 1-year, $8 million deal with $3 million guaranteed. Also, this is a surprise. Welcome to New York. Patrick Ricard, the longtime Ravens fullback, is off to the New York Giants. No, not sure about the contract details. I'm guessing it's going to be a 1-year deal unless it's a 2-3 year deal. The Jets were also making some moves. Nishan Wright, the former Bears cornerback, All-Pro Bowler or All-Pro, for 1 year, $5.5 million deal. It's a big-time payday for Nishan Wright. Dane Belton had a 1-year, $4 million deal, $6 million in actives. But the biggest surprise, Geno Smith, who was drafted by the Jets in 2013, is coming back to New York. Him and I believe a 2027 or 2026 7th-round pick is going to the New York Jets in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. So, Geno Smith is not sure if he's your starting quarterback, Jets fans. I don't know how you're feeling about this. So, does that mean Justin Fields gets released? If they do release Justin Fields, then Geno Smith is your starting quarterback for this upcoming year. But I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the Jets. Now, it's been a long time he's been with the New York Jets, but he knows the organization. He knows the division very well. And yes, with a quarterback-minded offensive coordinator, Frank Reich, we'll see what he can do out of Geno Smith. Eagles finally get on the board in the free agency market after losing Jalen Phillips to free agency. Johnny Mundt, former Jaguars tight end, gets a 1-year deal. Former Seahawks cornerback Tariq Woolen getting a 1-year, $15 million deal. So he is going to join Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell there in Philadelphia. Cam Hayward gets a new deal for the Steelers, a 2-year, $32.25 million deal, $16.25 million guaranteed. And the Commanders getting Leo Chanel from the Chiefs to a 3-year, $24.75 million deal. And that's all the news. Now, here are the others that happened. And this is as of recorded. So, Sky Moore is going to the Green Bay Packers for a 1-year deal. So, the Packers get a special teams player for Sky Moore. And then the biggest story that just happened a few hours ago, a few minutes ago, the Ravens have backed out of the trade for Maxx Crosby. Now, why did they back it out? Well, his physical was failed because Maxx Crosby was dealing a knee injury. So therefore, the trade is not going to happen. Maxx Crosby will return to Las Vegas. I'm guessing he's going to play for 2026, but we'll see if he can get the rehab for that knee injury. And if he does get the rehab for the knee injury, probably expecting to maybe get traded during the trade deadline, which I do think that could be a possibility. But if you're a Ravens fan, I think this is one that it sucks because you're happy with Maxx Crosby. He's coming to Baltimore. But then you lose those big times like Patrick Ricard, Isaiah Likely, Tyler Limmerbaugh, and they all left. And now Maxx Crosby's one of them also. He's now not going to be a Baltimore Raven. And Baltimore, their free agency is not good. Not very good for Jesse Minter in his first year as the head coach. But again, day 3. Get it better, Baltimore. Don't worry about what happened right now, but get your guys to Baltimore. That's it for NFL free agency day 2. If you're not seeing my other videos, including day 1 of NFL free agency, go check that out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news.